and they won via penalties 4-3 against Banyana Banyana. So they're meeting again, and let's see how this will pan out.
All right, the two managers, the two coaches who will be in the dugouts have been talking tough ahead of this game. We've already given you the starting lineup of the Super Falcons, but let's stay with that one and give you the starting lineup for the South Africans. Altogether, the South Africans have scored 7 goals so far in this competition. The Nigerians have scored 9. The South Africans have conceded, but the defense of the Super Falcons yet to concede in this tournament. So they have the best attack, they have the best defense. They're up against the reigning champions of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. And Dylan Glamy is the goalkeeper for the South Africans, maintaining our shirts, just like we saw in the quarterfinals. Kile Magama is one of the players they rely on in the defense. Bohan Ramalepe, one of the goal scorers for the South Africans. Karabo Nlami, and of course, captain of the side, Jane Rufiola, is equally there. Not forgetting Gaba Salgado. Jermaine Sioposenwe is one of their star players, and the Super Falcons must watch out for jersey number 12, Jermaine Sioposenwe. Okay, let's move on. Bongeka, Gamade, Bambanani, Mbane, Sisetso, Makubela, and lastly, Linda Modlado, an experienced player for the South Africans. There you have it, the 11 starters for the South Africans, like I said, 7 goals. And all of the 7 goals were scored by different goal scorers. So they have 7 goal scorers in the mix, about 3 of them starting this game against the Super Falcons. Just quickly, let's look at what the coaches have been saying. For the Super Falcons head coach Justin Madugu, he's confident that his team will win this highly anticipated WAFCON semi-final. A lot of persons have tagged this one the final before the final. All right, and so speaking ahead of this game, Madugu said, and I quote, "The preparations are good. The girls have been very committed, determined. They are in good shape. They are well prepared for this one." He went on to say, "It's a good thing that we are familiar with the environment and it places us at an advantage, obviously, because we are used to the field now, having played 4 times right here." Do you think that's going to be an advantage, Jude, against the South Africans? 30 seconds.
Yes, of course, it's definitely going to be an advantage, KUFRE.
It places us at an advantage, the coach went on to say, but then when it comes to football games these days, home advantage doesn't really count. You must work hard to earn whatever it is that you want out of the game. He went on to say, and I quote once again, "It doesn't mean that it is an automatic thing for us. We must work hard for the victory that we desire. We played them in the last qualifying games for the Olympics. We defeated them at home and had a draw in South Africa, but every game is different." All right, the Olympics qualifiers are quite different from this particular tournament. One thing is certain, they are South Africans and we are Nigerians. We all know what is at stake when it comes to games between these nations. Beyond football, it's a matter of cultural pride for the two nations. There's that rivalry, politically, culturally, musically. I mean, someone was making a joke that it's going to be Afrobeat against Amapiano. We'll see the tune we're going to dance to at the end of this one. He went on to say, "We know what rivalry means between us. We are not taking anything for granted. What has passed has passed. Today is the one that determines what happens. And so we are fully ready towards that and we are set to go." All right, enough of that. Let's move on to what his opposite number has said, talking about Desiree Ellis, the Banyana coach. She's said, and I quote, "We traveled on Sunday and had our final training on Monday. There's not much you can do in one day." All right, and this is where maybe the advantage of playing on that pitch will count, but it's an outside factor if you ask me. But a few things you can tweak and a few things to work on. The technical team has been really busy behind the scenes, leaving no stone unturned. I think you don't need motivation. Semi-final, we are ready for the game. She went on to say, "We have to be on top of our game to make sure we get over the hurdle. Nigeria is the only country that has defended the title back-to-back on numerous occasions, and achieving that for South Africa would be massive." That is very, very key. Another point that the two teams will be playing for or against. South Africa wants to retain the title and match that record by the Super Falcons of Nigeria. For the Super Falcons, they want to get back to winning ways against the South Africans. And so there you have it. We are some seconds away from the kickoff of the game between the Super Falcons of Nigeria and the Banyana Banyana of South Africa, first semi-final of the ongoing 2024 13th edition of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. Enough time for us to take one or two calls before we go straight into bringing you a live studio commentary and analysis of the game. 0906 2024 907 or 0906 2023 907. Don't forget, go on our YouTube and Facebook live feed to participate in our Predict and Win 50,000 Naira pool. All right, we have a 50,000 Naira cash pool where we want to give out 2,000 Naira each to those who send in correct predictions for this game. All right, include your full name, your location, your prediction. Drop your entry in the comment sections of our Facebook and YouTube live feed, and that's Champion 90.7 FM. Hello, good evening. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. Hello. I do call back 0906 2023 907 or 0906 2024 907. Hello, good evening. Hello. Okay, all right. We're getting set to bring you live studio coverage of the game. And yes, let's move on to the action. And it started already at the Labi Zaoli Stadium. The South Africans almost getting that set piece at the back of the net. They wanted Chiamaka Nadozie, the goalkeeper on the African continent, to go pick that one at the back of our net, but she was very alert, very aware. And so let's begin officially a live studio commentary and analysis of the first semi-final of the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco between the Super Falcons of Nigeria and the Banyana Banyana of South Africa. The Super Falcons coming through, a check in there with that one, stumbled, but she was able to win. And no, thought that was a corner kick, but that was cleared out of danger by the South Africans, who continue to try to break the attack of the Super Falcons. Ashley Plumter, we should get to that on time. Yes, she does. It was a weak cross that very low and cleared by the South Africans. We are 4 minutes into the action, and it's the one you want to describe as not giving your opponents any breathing space. In this one, Ashley Plumter very high in the attack for the Super Falcons, wins that one, crosses the ball, and there she has a player, a teammate, and there Super Falcons comes through, but that was not well cuddled by that Nigerian player. But they still have possession of the ball. What do? They're about 30 meters out of the danger zone for the South Africans. Captain Rashida Ajibade sends one in gets there, and that's Esther Okoronkwo, and a shot there, and it's a goal. No, it's not. That was almost in, and the first blood of this one. But Jennifer Echegini, jersey number 12, almost drawing the first blood of this encounter. That was a beautiful cross from Captain Rashida Ajibade from the right side of the attack, chested down by Ijamu Lisi, but Jennifer Echegini wasn't able to connect with that one rightly, and the blushes of the South Africans saved right there.
All right, KUFRE. I think one thing that is clear here is the early press of the Super Falcons. We've seen how they've been able to box the Banyana Banyana, in their own half. We can see how they are pressing them and forcing them to make errors. Something similar of what we saw in the game against the Zambians. And of course, it's a good start for them. It's always good for you to start with the front foot, and that's what we're seeing right here.
Definitely so, starting on the front foot, pegging back the South Africans. But one thing about starting the game that way is that you must maintain that momentum. But it's always very, very difficult for you to start that way and end that way. At some point, the South Africans will be on the ascendancy, and it will be left for the Super Falcons to defend against such and ensure that they do not get hurt. Free kick to the South Africans inside their own half. For the South Africans, from where we're sitting, they're playing from right to left in all yellow shirt, yellow shorts, and yellow stockings. For the Super Falcons of Nigeria, trying to do a fast break on the South Africans after winning possession in the center circle, and rightly so, they're doing that. For Olashade Jamilusi on the left side has a man on him, or a woman on him, but plays with a teammate, talking about Ashley Plum, who has been beautifully displaced by that sweeping one, and free kick to the South Africans, almost going on a break. But jersey number 12, Jamin Sobo-Senwe, told you that the Super Falcons should watch out for her drawing a free kick for the South Africans from the Nigerians, and a free kick inside the half of the South Africans for the Banyana Banyana of South Africa. One thing is very sure, the Nigerians or the South Africans must take their chances, because it will come down to that. As a matter of fact, Larry Ellis, coach of the South Africans, holding her breath, keeping it cool, calm, and collected like yours truly. And that free kick has been taken, not a good one, and that one will roll out of play for throw into the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Well done by Tosin Dimenyu right there. It was Jamin Sobo-Senwe who was going for that one. Ashley Plumter's taking that throw in, and she plays with teammates, but that one roll out. Good body check by Esther Okoronkwo, tries to lay the pass to Chiwendu on the left side of the Super Falcons attack. She wins that one, body checking her opponent, crosses the ball into the danger zone for the South Africans. Well, caught out by the South Africans inside the yard box, and they will play out from there. But the Nigerians, Super Falcons, still trying to peg them back inside their own half, making it easy. I think that, Jude, what we've seen is that the South Africans, the Nigerians rather, always trying to hit the South Africans on the counter attack. Yeah,
that's what we're seeing, and I love the fact that they've been able to take the game to the South Africans, especially the way what they're doing to win the ball back. But something is not really right for me here. It's how the ball crosses into the 18-yard box. I think they need to improve on that, KUFRE. They need to improve on that.
Definitely so. It's a corner kick to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. We need to confirm that. There was a bit of glitch on our live feed right in our live studio. Yes, it's a corner kick to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. It was a long one from Ashley Plumter to striker Chiwendu. He also, she had a player on her, and of course she shot that one. It was on target, and it was Andile Nlami, goalkeeper for South Africa, who parried that one over the bar for corner kick to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. All the right moves being orchestrated by the Super Falcons. That was a very beautifully done move there by Chiwendu. He was one of the goal scorers of the Super Falcons in this tournament. As a matter of fact, she is the top scorer on the part of the Nigerian team at this competition with 3 goals. She's 28 years old, plays for FC Pachuca in Mexico. That corner kick will be taken right now, and that has been taken by Ijamilusi. Folashade Ijamilusi, captain Rashida Ajibade. What does she do? She wants to shoot. No, she passes back to Ijamilusi, sends a high one in, and nodded, and it's a goal. No! And Dylan Lamy not allowing that one to beat her. I think it was a header from Ashley Plumter, the Al Ittihad defender and captain. For the second time, Folashade Ijamilusi had that one, and it was a tamed header from Ashley Plumter, and the goalkeeper for South Africa, Lamy, had no issues at all in picking that up. South Africa trying to hit the Super Falcons, playing some low ball through possession of the ball, still with the Rainbow Nation of South Africa coming on the right side of the attack. They sent one in, but of course, the first man of defense for the Falcons, Ashley Plumter, stopping that one from making any meaningful impact, throw into the South Africans.
All right. We're seeing a Super Falcons side who have come into this game with so much intent and purpose. With the way they've started, there's been this energy, and they've shown that they really want it. But one thing they must do is to try to disrupt the rhythm of the South Africans, because we know that they are a very good ball playing side, and their strength mostly in this tournament that we've seen is in their midfield. So I think what the Super Falcons must do is to make sure that they don't get them into playing the way they want to play. The press that we've seen so far has been good, and also the determination to win back the ball like we're seeing now. I think they should keep it up, and if anything is going to happen in this game, these are at the side of the game.
An opportunity for the Super Falcons, and it's a goal, no, blocked by the goalkeeper. And of course, the second opportunity blocked by that defender for the South Africans. Double opportunities for the Super Falcons to make it goal number one, but the goalkeeper first stopping that one, and that defender almost on the touchline, denying the Super Falcons the first goal of this game. That was well done. I think it all started by winning that possession back in the center circle. Captain Rashida Ajibade saw Esther Okoronkwo and Chiwendu Iozo on the left side of the attack, change possession of that one, face to face with the goalkeeper. And Esther Okoronkwo will be blaming herself for not converting that first opportunity. Iozo came with a rebounder, but that defender already regrouped and stopped that one on the touchline. For the opt-in time in this game, Jude, the Super Falcons, not taking advantage of that opportunity.
KUFRE, this is a semi-final. This is a semi-final, and you have to take your chances. It's just 12 minutes into the game, and we've seen them spawn like 2, 3, 4 chances. So they must take the chances if they must win this game. So we don't want to see a game where they miss their chances, and at the end of the day they end up losing the game. It's going to be very painful, because the way they've started so far has been really, really good. They've been the best team from what we've seen so far. They've taken the game to the South Africans. They're dominating possession as usual, so they must take their chances. Goals win you games. We've said this many times on the show. Goals win you games, and you can't be spawning your chances and expecting to win. It doesn't work like that in football. When you score, the more goals you score, it puts you in the position for you to win. So they must take their chances.
All right, we have an opportunity for the Super Falcons to take a set piece taken by Esther Okoronkwo, and well defended, but not outside danger. Yet the South Africans are not out of danger. They're not out of the woods yet. The ball is back with Esther Okoronkwo, but sleeps there, losing possession to the Banyana Banyana of South Africa, who tries to hit one. Salgado chasing that one. I think she has the knee on her, but the ball has gotten to goalkeeper for Nigeria, Chamaka Nadozie, beautifully going past that on-rushing South African player, and a long one towards Iozo. This is Rashidat Ajibade. Yes, and Michel Alozie comes galloping down on the right side like Giselle, but again, that was just too much from her towards Rashidat Ajibade. All right, it's 14 minutes on the clock. South Africa against Nigeria. It's goalless still, but the Nigerians have had plenty of opportunity to nick the first goal or even make it to, but the South Africans have been well defensive, defended their lines very well. It's goalless as we speak. All right, well, you cannot call us while we bring you this live studio commentary and analysis. You can send in your comment to us on our SMS and WhatsApp lines. All right, so you can let us know what of what you are hearing so far, what you know about the game that is currently on in the 14th minute. 0906 2023 907. That's where to send your WhatsApp message to. We read it live during this session. You can also send us an SMS to 0906 2024 907. Once again, send your messages to us, SMS, WhatsApp, send them to 0906 2023 907 or 0906 2024 907. All right. Don't forget that you can watch us, listen to us, and participate in the Predict and Win on our live Facebook and YouTube pages. Just search for 90.7 FM. On Facebook, follow us and drop your Predict and Win and stand a chance to win from our 50,000 Naira cash pool for the Predict and Win today. And of course, you can also look for us, watch us, and listen to us on YouTube. Yes, youtube.com. Don't forget, all you need to do there is to like, follow us, subscribe to our channel, and drop your prediction, including your full name and your location, to the comment section. All right, let's get back to the game in front of us. 15 minutes on the clock. You cannot call us. You cannot call us as we're doing this. You can only call us. We'll take your call, all your calls during halftime. But right now, send us a message, WhatsApp message, SMS, and we'll read it right here on the show. Don't call us. Do not call us. You're disrupting a lot of things we're doing right here. Just send us an SMS, a WhatsApp text, and we're going to read your message on the show. All right. It's been a ding-dong for the last 5 minutes, Jude. Plenty of infringements from two sides. The referee has had to come to the rescue of the beautiful game of football.
Yeah, what I've seen so far, KUFRE, I think the Super Falcons should have been 2 goals up by now, given the number of chances that they've missed. I've also seen good strength from Ezo and Esther Okonkwo, good strength, and the way they're closing the South Africans down, it's positive for me, and it gives this hope that truly this game might just be going the Super Falcons' way. One thing they must do in this game is to take their chances. They can't be spawning chances in a tie like this, where a goal is very, very important, and a goal can actually change the momentum of the game. So they really need to take their chances and be leading. I think by this time in the quarterfinals we were leading already, and we've had almost similar chances and they've been spawned. I'm not too comfortable with it. And one player for me too that must improve in a final ball is Alozie. She really needs to improve. She did that against Zambia, and Bashir Sajibade compensated in that wing for her, but I would like her to improve in this particular game. I
do like her strength. She has plenty of energy, bumping forward from her defensive position. She's done that a couple of times under 15 minutes already. And like you said, a final ball, very, very important. The Super Falcons winning possession of the ball once again inside the center circle. And that was a nice one from, offside called against Esther Okoronkwo. We've had 5 shots on goal in this game, 4 to Nigeria and 1 to South Africa. It tells you where the pendulum has swung to so far in 18 minutes of this game at the Laubi Zaoli Stadium in Casablanca. It's been the home of Super Falcons since the start of this competition. They won the group, they stayed there. Zambia came, defeated them 5-0, and the South Africans have equally come there. And this is the running test of the running strength of Michelle Alozie called into action, and then she came through wonderfully right there. Throw-in taken by the South Africans, and like the fact that Super Falcons are not giving the South Africans any room to play their game. The South Africans are well fleet-footed. They like commanding possession of the ball. They like putting the ball on the floor, on the turf, and they got into the danger zone there of the Super Falcons, but not one to trouble the best goalkeeper on the continent, Chiamaka Nnadozie. And I think that Jude, the Super Falcons defenders must watch out for the split-second passes of the attackers of South Africa in the danger zone of the Nigerians when the South Africans attack. Yeah. But before you say anything, this is Esther Okoronkwo coming through, but I think she pushed that up too much, and she lost possession of that one. It will be advantage to the South Africans. They were able to tidy up that almost missed possession, and they have the ball back, trying to saunter their way into the center half. Yes, that has been done. They have possession of the ball. They will throw one in. They want to attack from the right side of the attack, where we have Ashley Plumter, and of course she's ever reliable, strong, and very fit up to the task as far as this game is concerned. Yeah,
Ashley Plumter, she's been solid so far in this tournament, one of the best players, for the Super Falcons. And KUFRE, we've seen what we saw now. The South Africans did, in against the Super Falcons in this tournament. You can see how they just sliced the Super Falcons defense open with their passes, with movement, and this is one thing we've not seen. And it tells you about the quality of the opponent that you're playing. When you get to see things like this, it tells you that this opponent, their quality side, and you must be very wary of the threats. And this is the thing I was talking about. Alozie, our final balls, our final balls. Yes, it's fantastic the way she defends and the way she defends and the way she lunges forward. But that final ball has always been the problem. I noticed that in the game against Zambia, and I'm seeing a repeat today again, which of course might prove costly for Nigeria if going into the attack.
All right, definitely. I think that the Super Falcons must take advantage of the opportunities. Yes, they must do. It's been a pulsating last 20 minutes, and I think that the referee on the dot of 20 minutes has called for a water break for the two teams. So the two teams going for some refreshments. Yes, going for some refreshments. Okay, not break, not water break. I think that there's an injured player on the turf from the part of the South Africans, and the medical team of the Banyana Banyana has called for one. Don't know if she's exhausted under the heat of Casablanca or she's injured. But other players on the pitch taking advantage of that one for a water break, water refreshments for them to get some energy back. It's like I said, it's been back to back pulsating last 20 minutes of action. We just hope that the Super Falcons will not rue these misses that they've had so far. Like I said earlier on, it's been 4 shots on target for them inside the first 15 minutes of this encounter, and they were not able to convert one of those. The South Africans have not been able to adequately penetrate the defense of the Super Falcons. They have been impregnable so far in this competition. We might have a first substitution in this game quite early in this encounter because of South African who went down without being contacted. All right, so we're not sure of what the challenge is for her, but the game's medical team with the stretcher definitely around are available for her to help her to ease the situation. It's an opportunity for the girls from Nigeria to talk to themselves and see what they need to do better from the 20 minutes of action we've had so far.
Yes, of course, it's a good time for them to reflect on how they've approached this game. So far for me, KUFRE, their approach has been good. I love what I'm seeing. Little gaps there, but of course they've been really, really good so far. And I think the defense line should keep its compactness. That compactness we've seen them kept throughout this tournament. They should maintain that against this side. We've seen how slick they are with the ball, the passes, and all of these things. How they've been able to split open the defense of the Super Falcons in the blink of an eye. So it tells you the attacking threat, and if they are allowed to play, this is what you get. And when you look at South Africans midfield, I think that's where the ball really is. That's where they orchestrate whatever they do, and the Super Falcons midfielders should be able to press them so high, and press them and force them so that they don't get to make those passes. They don't get a control of the game, because that's where the game will be decided. That midfield for South Africans, if they get into control, I think they can really host the Super Falcons.
All right, the referee started the game a few seconds ago, but we've seen another injured South African player, this time around the goalkeeper, and Dylan Lamy Number 16, she's been wonderful so far for the South Africans. I think twice she has saved her team as she should, because it's her job to ensure that as the final man of the defense line of the Rainbow Nation team, she must do her very best to ensure the ball doesn't go past her. And so far, she's done a yeoman's job, keeping about 2 of the 4 shots on target off. We saw one that resulted in the corner kick to the Super Falcons of Nigeria, and of course, the one of the double opportunities in split seconds that the team had. I think that there's going to be a first substitution for South Africa, jersey number 17, Tisetso Makubela. Definitely has had enough of this game. She's going to have an early shower. And Magaya, one of the ladies who was there in the 2022 edition in Morocco that helped South Africa to win this one. One of the experienced players as well. She's being prepared to come on board. We just saw Coach Justin Madugu give instruction to Halimatu Anyide, the defensive midfielder for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. During this break, let's see how these two coaches are able to reorganize their teams to get maximum or optimal results. The reserved goalkeeper for South Africa is equally warming up. Yes, Magaya has come through as replacement for Makubela, and so a fresh leg for the South Africans. I think it's a hamstring injury for Makubela, one of the defenders. Tisetso Makubela, one of the defenders for South Africa, and that's why she's been stretched off and replaced by Magaya. The goalkeeper, Andile Lami, she's okay. She's back on her feet, jersey number 16, and she will continue. I think at 25 minutes of this game, maybe we might just see 3-4 minutes added at the end of the first 45 minutes, but that's left for to the discretion of the center referee. And so Lamini will continue the action. Yes, it's the game has restarted with South Africa having possession of the ball, but that has been relinquished to the Super Falcons with Rashida Najibade on this side, captain for the Nigerian team. This is Jennifer Echegini taking it easy with the ball, playing with her defenders. Well done to Ashley Plumter, but that was just too much, and losing possession of the ball in that stead to the South Africans. But somehow the Super Falcons have won throw in at the half still of the South Africans, and that has been taken bad touch there by that Nigerian player Ijami Lucy, losing possession back to the South Africans. It's not been a fluid game, Jude, in the last 10 minutes. That should be a free kick to Nigeria. Tosin Dimeyi or Sinachi Ohale being clipped by that South African. It will be a free kick. That was not good. Jersey number 8 for South Africa doing that, talking about Magaya. And it's a free kick to Nigeria. But I think that the medical team of Nigeria will have to come on board and take care of the first goal scorer for Nigeria in the game against South Africa, Osinachi Ohale.
Yeah, KUFRE, it's been it's been a highly competitive game. Looking at how both teams have played, and we must give it to them. It's also an intense game. We can see the intensity has been end to end since there's this parity in terms of play was restored. In the early hours of the game, we saw the Super Falcons more in the game, taking the game to the South Africans. But at the time, wore on, we saw that the South Africans begin to find themselves into the game again, and of course the intensity is there, the competitiveness is there, which of course is expected for such a fixture that is touted as the clash of the Titans. So what was seen is not something short of expectation. Is what we expected. The heat, and of course the pressure, and we can also see that it means a lot to these players and how much they're giving to ensure that this game is what we want.
Don't forget that you can share your thoughts with us on our platforms 0906 2023 907. That's our WhatsApp line. Send your WhatsApp message there, include your name and where you are texting from. You can also text us SMS on 0906 2024 907. 0906 2024 907. The game has restarted. The South Africans have possession of the ball inside the half of the Super Falcons. Here they come again. And Jennifer Echegini defending there inside the 18-yard box of the Super Falcons. And the South Africans have a throw-in. This time around, the Super Falcons will defend these balls. South Africa through Salgado. Yes, Gabriela Salgado sends in a long one, nodded out of danger area by Ashley Plumter. Another throw into the South Africans on the other side of the game. All right, like we said earlier, you look at the start so far, just one corner kick in this game, and that's to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. All right, total shots played in this one, 4 to Nigeria and 2 to the Banyana Banyana of South Africa. And it's 6 shots on target in this game, 2 to the South Africans, the rest to Nigeria. Nigeria frantically defending this one, and yes, they've done that one with a Plumter sending a long one out of the danger area of the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Once again, throw into South Africa. In terms of expected goals in this one, favors Nigeria at 0.46 compared to 0.13 the South Africans. But possession now has swung in the direction of the South Africans, 62% to that of Nigeria, 38%. Salgado is the one running the lines on the left side of their play. Okay, Michel Alozie teaming up with Rashida Ajibade to win a throw-in. The referee says otherwise. South Africa would take that one for the opt-in time. Another throw-in to them. All right. That throw-in wasn't taken at the right spot, and the referee called back the earlier one. South Africa will go again. They've taken that one, redirecting or repositioning the game to the heart of the field. A long one will be sent in there by that defender towards where Ashley Plumter resides, and that was supposed to be one that should get to that lone South African in the danger zone of the Super Falcons, but it was not well taken by Lebohang Ramalepe. She did very well in that game against their last opponent, Senegal, and she's one of the 7 goal scorers for the South Africans, but there was a poor delivery from her on the right side of the attack. This is Nigeria with possession of the ball once again. Chiwendu, he also plays with Ashley Plumter. It's been a long time that we saw the Super Falcons attack the South Africans, and they just did that time around, but South Africa playing that one out of touch. Throwing coming to them. Esther Okoronkwo was chasing that one down by the South African, talking about Karabo Namini not taking chances, clearing that one out for throwing to Nigeria. Throwing has been taken, and the Super Falcons have just won their second corner kick of this game, courtesy of a job well done by the Al Ittihad captain, Ashley Plumter. Communicating with Folashade Ijamilusu, who's been the corner kick taker for the Super Falcons in this game, saw a brief moment there. Folashade and Ashley talking about perhaps where she's going to deliver that corner kick to. Ashley Plumter perhaps now to send it to the back of the cluster of players, and she comes up with corner kick. It's been taken. The goalkeeper for South Africa had no one disturbing her. She took that one off the air. That was a nice block. Last 5 minutes, Jude, what have you seen?
Well, there's been a contrast in the way both teams, are playing. One is the Super Falcons have been playing with the long balls. If you've noticed, there's the long balls. We saw that also in the Zambians in the game against Zambia. For South Africans, they're more of a ball-playing team. As we can see, they move the ball around beautifully, and they've found their way into the game because there's a balance now. So to say, unlike when we saw in the early minutes of the game, so there's this balance now in the game, and the Super Falcons, I think the momentum has dropped, and the South Africans, they are doing enough with the ball, which of course is not really looking too good. However, they've held their lines, but I think they should try whatever they need to do, or whatever they have to do to maintain shape and structure, and also not let the embers, that fire that they started with, die.
Just saw Coach Justin Madigo telling his girls to move out of the danger zone, not allow the South Africans peg them back. And that was a good turn, but she's not mindful of opponents around her. Talking about Esther Okoronkwo, still has possession of the ball. Talking about Super Falcons, and that was a good one from Jennifer Chegini. Will Esther Okoronkwo get there on time? Yes, she does, and she stopped that one from going out cross. Blocked by that South African who have possession of the ball, and they will play out from their defense. They're doing that beautifully. So, like you said, Jude, the fire that the Super Falcons started this game with, the hunger and the speed at which they started this game with, has dissipated a bit, but they're still in there. Rashida Ajibade wins possession back. Echegine with the ball has a man on her, and unfortunately misplaced that pass that has been repossessed by the South Africans. Don't know what happened there, but this is just a number 2 level hang Ramalipe being stopped there by Chinwendu Ozo. Yes, beautifully dispossessed by someone who's stronger than her. Ashley Plumter plays with Jennifer Echegini, who's supposed to be the creative midfielder, getting all the balls, and that is Ozo brought down, but the referee says the South African won that ball cleanly. So the ball is in the center circle. Hijamilisu comes back to defend. Salgado for South Africa. This is Jane, captain for the South Africans. Spread the ball to the right side. This is Hilda Magaya. Sends a long one in, trying to connect with Jamin Soper somewhere. But that was a misplaced pass that went straight into the legs of Chiamaka Nadozie. How many minutes on the clock? We're talking 36 minutes on the clock. The Super Falcons, but that defender did well to obstruct The referee has just blown for a free kick. Not free kick. The ball continues. The game continues for the Nigerians. We don't know exactly what happened right there. Was it free kick against the Nigerians? Or that was well done by that defender. Just number 5, Fikile Magama. But it's a throw into the Super Falcons. The referee saw nothing wrong with a tussle between Yozo and Makama, and goal kick to the South Africans. It's been some words an untidied game so far in the last 5-10 minutes. The opportunities, goal scoring opportunities, aren't coming again, especially from the side of the Nigerians. Of course, based on stats, they've had more danger balls. They've been in more position to score in this encounter against the South Africans, but nothing so far to show for it. And it's going to be a goal kick to the South Africans. They will play this one out. And referee has just given them the order to do so. Wonder what Justin Madigo will tell the girls in terms of how to reignite the fire within them, just like Champion Radio does to the listening audience. That's for the second 45 minutes. But accurate passes, we just saw the stats now, favors the South Africans.
Yeah, KUFRE, I told you already, this is a game. The way both teams play is quite different. You see the Super Falcons, they play with the long balls, and the South Africans, they knock the ball around. And the Super Falcons, a good part about their game is that they're also very direct. That's why you've seen that they've had more goal threats plays in this particular game. They're very direct. Look, when you look at Eyazo and Okonkwo Ajibade, they're very direct with their approach, and it's also good for them, you know. So we just hope that I only wish that they are taking their chances earlier on. That would have put them in a very good position right now, and that would have probably opened up South Africans a bit, you know, to come out, you know, to play. But as it is, South Africans, they look like a team who has, you know, found their rhythm, and they're back in the game.
Back in the game, and they're not giving the Nigerians breathing space, even as they attack them. Throwing to the Super Falcons. Of course, Ramalipe not giving Ashley Plumter any opportunity. That was a piece of skill from Jennifer Echegini, the lady that's been given the mantle, the authority to run things in the midfield creatively, attacking wise for the Super Falcons. Here are the South Africans trying to hit the Nigerians on the counter attack. Jamming on the right side, looking for someone to support her. Siopo Senwe, and yes, they've come in their droves, but enough time for the Super Falcons players to as well defend their lines, and that they will do. And a shot there, and that will go over the bar and goal kick to Nigeria. They need to up the ante, they need to up the energy. The vibes of this game has really gone down. I mean, it's even affecting us right here in the live studios of Champion 90.7. Less action moments to talk about in this one. No thanks to the last 20 minutes or 15 minutes of game by South Africa and Nigeria. In case you just tuned in, welcome to our live studio coverage of the first semi-final of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2024 in Morocco between 9-time African champions Nigeria and the reigning defending champions Banyana Banyana of South Africa. And you can also join us on our live feed, live platforms on Facebook and YouTube, Champion 90.7 FM. Go there, you can watch us live, you can as well listen to us, and most importantly, for you can predict and win from our cash pool of 50,000 naira. Just predict the scoreline of this game between South Africa and Nigeria, and if your prediction is correct, you will get 2,000 naira cash. Yes, Salgado doing well to hold that ball right there, and playing with her goalkeeper Andile Lamini. All right, South Africa possession of the ball in their favor from the defense, and the gusto, the energy, the pace, the runs of the Nigerians really has gone down. And I think both of them are just waiting for the second 45 minutes because there's no intensity on how they are attacking their opponents. That was a good one, and that must be so costly for Super Falcons. But there was Osinachi Ohale, or is it Tosimeni, running at that South African player, and she had to quickly release the ball. That will not even hurt a fly, just glancing through the lines of Chiamaka Nadozie. Goal kick to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. The Falcons cannot allow the South Africans to do that. That was a bit of taking their eyes off the ball. That would easily have been the first goal in this game, and went to South Africa if that was well positioned beyond the reach of goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadozie, but it was not well taken by that South African player Jamin Sopo Senwe, and action continues. 42 minutes on the clock. Welcome to our live studio coverage of this one on Champion 90.7 FM. In case you just tuned in, all right, the starting lineup for the Super Falcons: Chiamaka Nadozie in goal, Michel Alozie, Osinachi Ohale, not forgetting Ashley Plumter and Tosin Dimenyi in the defense, Halimatu Anyide, Rashidat Ajibade, and Jennifer Echegini in the midfield, Esther Okoronkwo, Folashade Ijami Lucy, and Chiwendu Iyozo up front for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. It's throwing to the Super Falcons. Referee ordering that throw to be taken, and Michel Alozie will do justice to that one. She wants to send in a long one. Let's see how effective that will be to the grand scheme of things for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And she's taking it. Jennifer Echegini, Esther Okoronkwo has been, yes, she's been told that was wrong for her, parrying opponents, or shoving opponent off the ball illegally. And so, advantage to South Africa, free kick to them inside the 18-yard box. All right, a moment ago, Ijami Lucy, I think she's been a revelation in the knockout stages of the competition. Started her first game against Zambia and scored the final goal as the Falcons walloped Zambia by 5-0. Pass then intercepted by Halimatu Anyide, but a resultant pass was not good, but she won that one back. And then Rashida Ajibade has opportunity. That's a shot. Handball called. Would that be? And yes, penalty to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Handball by the South Africans after Folashade Ijamilusu tried having a shot on target. perhaps the VAR will be called into action to perhaps 100% confirm that decision by the center referee. But as we speak, penalty has been awarded to the 9-time African champions. That was a good turn, piece of skill from Folashade Ijamilusi, and that one was, yes, definitely looking at it, Jude, it was going to obstruct the trajectory of that play that was going on target, and the referee has called for a penalty to the Super Falcons of Nigeria.
Of course, Kufri. And, I spoke earlier about how the Super Falcons have been really direct in this game. We've not seen a lot of knocking the ball around, but we've seen a team who has approached the game with directness and purpose. That has been the positive for me in this game. And I just want to see a team, that we, go on, with the fire that they started this game with, which of course we've not seen, in the past 20 minutes now, because of the way the game has been. We've seen the South Africans, come back fighting in this particular tie, and that has somehow, reduced the energy of the
An opportunity for the Super Falcons. Captain will take this mantle, will take this opportunity. Rashida Ajibade steps forward, takes it, and she scores. It's goal number 1 for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Rashida Ajibade picking a spot, but the goalkeeper for South Africa, and Dile Ndlami, went for that one, perhaps touched that one beat, but the ball too heavy for her to stop, and Rashidat Ajibade has put the Super Falcons in front in this one from the spot. It's the 9-time African champions, Super Falcons of Nigeria 1, Banyana Banyana of South Africa nil, converted from the sport by Captain Rashidat Ajibade, and that's why celebration in the camp of the Super Falcons. Yes, it wasn't a fantastic penalty kick by Rashida Ajibade. That was a little bit tense, tame rather, and it was not well angulated, but I think the power was there enough to beat the touch of the goalkeeper for South Africa and Dile Ndlami. Nonetheless, the Super Falcons lead by 1-0.
Yeah, they ought to have been leading by now. Let's not dwell on that now. It's joy for us, and this of course is going to change the game, and it's also good that Super Falcons will be ending the game with this lead. They have to keep this lead. It's an advantage for them coming into the second half and see what they can do, towards the South Africans. So far, as you can see, that intensity of the game has changed, because that is what a goal can do, and Super Falcons need to watch it and also maintain structure, maintain their shape as well, and also be able to press the South Africans and ensure that they don't concede in this game.
You can say that again. That's what Igbo can do. Has brought the South Africans out of their shell, and perhaps the brightness of the rainbow has gone down, and now they want to see how they can bring back luster to their colors, as they are known, the Rainbow Nation. Now they will have to change the game. Now they will have to be very purposeful. Now they will have to ensure that every minute, every second counts, and perhaps that will open them up to the counterattacks of the Super Falcons. But like you said, Jude, the Super Falcons ensure that they go into halftime leading the South Africans, reigning champions of the competition, by 1-0, and see what happens in the second 45 minutes, and which we're going to talk about during halftime. But again, 3 minutes added by the central referee. We're in the 3rd minute of the 3-minute added time in this first half, as the Super Falcons lead by 1-0. Captain Rashidat Ajibade with the goods for the Super Falcons. Throwing taken by the South Africans. They will try to knock the ball around, and here is the Super Falcons, but I think they're just waiting for the central referee to blow a whistle for halftime, but they cannot rest right now. That was wrongly done by Michel Alozie, but did enough to recover to win possession of the ball. Well done to the Houston Dash defender who plays with Osinachi Ohale, who will boot that one out of danger zone, and that header was erroneously done by the South African, and this is Esther Okoronkwo. Is she trying to slow down the pace of the game? And assistant referee on that side just raised a flag. It's offside against Esther Okoronkwo, and that was the last kick of the game. The referee has just blown for the end of the first 45 minutes of this semi-final game at the Labi Zauli Stadium in Casablanca between the Super Falcons of Nigeria and the Banyana Banyana of South Africa. with captain Rashidat Ajibade called into action to lead by example and convert from the spot against the goalkeeper. And the one who saved the blushes of the South Africans not once, twice, or third, 3 times in this one, but eventually she was beaten by that one from captain Rashidat Ajibade, and Nigeria lead by 1-0.
From dawn to dusk. We're here for you. Champion 90.7 FM.
Touches the soul and moves the body on Champion 90.7. Cover and enjoy. Music that touches the soul and moves the body on Champion 90. Discover and enjoy. Music that touches the soul and moves the body on Champion 90. Discover and enjoy. Music that touches the soul and moves the body on Champion 90.7 FM.
All right, thank you for still listening to us on Champion 90.7 FM. It's been 45 minutes, first 45 minutes of the first semi-final at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Nigeria against their South African counterparts, the Super Falcons and the Banyana Banyana of South Africa, with Nigeria leading by 1-0. Just halftime results, plenty more to happen to come through in the second half, but right now it's halftime. We'll take a bit of break, but we're back to talk about what transpired, the pressure from the Super Falcons of Nigeria earlier on in the game that should have translated into maybe 1 or 2 goals, but unfortunately for the Super Falcons that didn't happen. Fortunately for the South Africans, the defense did enough. The goalkeeper as well, and Dylan Lamy also did her best to ensure that she kept the slate clean until that moment, that penalty shootout moment, not penalty shootout, that penalty kick moment that captain for Nigeria, Rashid Ajibade, converted to make it 1-0 in favor of the Super Falcons at halftime. Don't forget that our predict and win is still on Facebook and on YouTube. These are the only platforms you can predict and win. All right, when you call us, you can only talk to us about your thoughts of the Super Falcons game so far in the first 45 minutes and what you think they should do as we expect the second 45 minutes. Okay, send your messages to us on 0906 2023 907 or 0906 2024 907, WhatsApp or SMS. All right, Jude, what's your summary of the first 45 minutes? We saw the early pressure from the Super Falcons of Nigeria, and then about the 20th minute or thereabouts, we saw injury to Makubela. Because of that, Hilda Magaya came on board. The goalkeeper also sustained an injury for the South Africans, but she was good at the end of the day. She continued to save their blushes. But again, finally, the Super Falcons of Nigeria broke the ice and the lead 1-0 at halftime.
Yeah, it's the game that we've we've expected. When you look at the way both teams have played in this half, it's not like a one-sided game, but of course we've seen more direct plays from the Super Falcons and more goal-scoring opportunities created by the Super Falcons. The South Africans, attacking-wise, they've kept the ball quite nicely and they've moved the ball around very well, but they've not really had these clear-cut chances to put it that way. And there are a lot of positives from this game, and I think in the second half we're going to see more goals. We're going to see more goals definitely, because it's going to be an open game where we see a wounded South African side who would want to come out roaring, who want to come out with full force to attack. And if Super Falcons can just do what's expected in that situation to capitalize on when you're wounded, you come all out, and you just have to take advantage of that situation and all them where it ought really badly. In this first half, I'll tell you that I've loved the way the Super Falcons have pressed. There's something I noticed, KUFRE. They press with a 4-man. They press with the 4-man against South Africa when they try to play the ball from the back, with the Okonkwo leading the charge, and Rashida Ajibade and Shejini and of course Eozo. That's the 4-man press that they are employing in this game. Of course, it has worked well in the early minutes of the game. We saw that we actually forced the South Africans into making errors, which of course they would have converted to be goals. So let's just give it, let's say, some good defending from the South Africans as well. But if only the Super Falcons have been clinical, I think we ought to have been like 3 goals up now in this particular game, and that would have been at the end of this tie. The game is very much alive. 1-0 with football. We know that 1-0 is not a victory yet, but the Super Falcons should be very mindful, and going to the second half, they should prepare and be compact defensively. We've seen something that we've not seen in this competition. Personally, for me, especially the defense of the Super Falcons, I can't really tell you that it's from Oale or Dimei, but one wing that has been exploited so far for me, I think it's Alozier's wing. There's a slip up there that Shejini covered for her at one point, and she has also put a fight in different situations as well.
All right, let's take this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome to our live studio coverage of the game between Nigeria and the Banyana Banyana of South Africa. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Messi from Ojodu. Good evening.
Good evening to you too. Messi, welcome.
Good evening, Messi.
Thank you, Jude. I want to contribute. I was watching the game with our Super Falcons. I think this second half, they should be thoroughly more focused. Why? Because the Banyana would like to come out and play the ball. The Super Falcons should allow the ball to do the work, pass and move. I see they were making some mistakes, white passing, some errors, giving out the ball to the South Africans. Onumonu should space to counter the defense of the South Africans and draw them into the ball so they can deliver. We also need to be clinical in this second half. Take your chance seriously. No over dribbling. Shoot with intent. Our Falcons need to bring in. If you ask me, Gift Monday, I'm not seeing her on the field, or Esther. They should come in around 65 to 70 minutes because they can bully the South African defenders and force them to make a mistake. And we should not forget, South Africans, they're also good in counter-attack. So our defensive midfielders should make sure that the back line is always covered, no unnecessary overlaps, no discipline over any overlapping. If our Super Falcons can do this, it's about staying in the line, playing mature game, finishing strong. If they stay composed and execute this, they should be up by 2-0, 3-0 and wrap up the match. That's my contribution.
Thank you so much, Messi. We just want to correct something. Gift Monday is not in this squad. Esther Okoronkwo is on the pitch. She started this one. All right, thank you for your contribution, Messi. All right, 0906 2023 907 0906 2024 907. You two can call in during this halftime break and let's have your take on the game so far. The Super Falcons lead the Banyana Banyana South Africa by 1-0. And don't forget to also go online on our platforms on YouTube and Facebook to participate in the Predict and Win. We have 50,000 I would like to give out to those who correctly predict the scoreline. You have until the first 15 minutes of the second half. We've decided to extend. All right, you still have until the first 15, let's say first 20 minutes of the second half. All right. After that, we will not be entertaining any more prediction from you. So quickly go do yours on YouTube, on Facebook, Champion 90.7 FM.
Yes, Messi said something that I would like to add, which of course I saw as well. The passes has been really poor, especially in the half of the South Africans. If only we've been able to connect our passes well. Probably by now, we ought to have there more than just this one goal that has been scored. Not like the Super Falcons are playing badly. They're not. So far for me, in terms of the team with purpose, they've been the better side. Looking at the chances that they've had, they've been better sides. South Africans have only been moving the ball around. They're trying to possess the ball, try to control the game. That has been what they've been doing so far in this first half that we've just witnessed. And I also feel that KUFRE, we should. I've not seen more of Okoronkwo in this game like we saw in the last game. Yes, she has been good, but we need better, and even best performance in that game against Zambia. She was outstanding. Eozo has shown great strength, But I think in the second half, Madugu will be thinking of bringing in some players who can, contribute attacking wise to see that we see off the South African side.
You think he's going to bring in players to defend the lines? More players to defend the line or to attack the South Africans at this point? We're playing against a team that's equally very good, a team that can equalize, and 45 minutes is plenty of time for plenty goals to be scored. How do you think he's going to approach this? Stay with the starting lineup the way it is right now, stay with this shape, all right, for how long in the second half before he can start making substitutions? Well,
I think he should stay with the shape for now. They are not really hurting this Super Falcons side like we've seen. They've not had clear-cut chances. He should stay with the lineup. He should stay with the shape and also with the with the structure so far. He should maintain it and see how the game unfolds. I think with the way the game will go, that with the reading of the game will determine the players that will be introduced into the fray. For the Super Falcons. But so far, I think let's say 65, 70 minutes. We can see the likes of Babajide Rishola, because at this time now the Super Falcons have the advantage. It's not really a wise decision for them to be defending, right, and allow South Africans to play and want to catch them on the counter attack. I think they should match them the way they've matched them toe to toe since the game started, and try to also control the ball, the game when they have possession of the ball. Make good use of the ball. The press that they started with, they should continue the same energy. I love what I saw in the Zambia the game against the Copper Queens. I would like to see that again. Full 90 minutes, press them and let's win.
All right, and we're up and running in the second half of the show, second half of the match rather, and that was almost a blunder from the goalkeeper of South Africa, Andile Nlami. Dropped that easy catch, but a defender was right there to save blushes, and here they are. Ashley Plumter doing a good job dispossessing that South African, and has played on her teammate Esther Koronkwo, but that South African has come through to play that on out of touch for a goal kick to throw into Nigeria. All right, Chiwendu Yozo already took attention of that one. Otherwise, perhaps she would have just tucked that one in at the back of the net. Second goal to the South Africans. But Fikile Magama, the defender for South Africa, was more alert than any other person in that situation to clear the ball out of danger for South Africa. Nigeria with the ball. All right, second minute of the second 45 minutes as the Super Falcons lead by 1-0. Nothing has changed. The same starting 11 for the Super Falcons have resumed play against the South Africans in this second half. Maka Nadoze in goal, Michel Alozie, Osinacho Hale, Tosin Dibeyi and Ali Plumter in the defense. Halimatu Anyide, Rashidat Ajibade, goal scorer of the only goal so far. Jennifer Ichegine in the midfield, while we have Esther Okoronkwo, Folashade Ijamilusi and Chiwendu Iozo up front for the Super Falcons. We've only had one substitution in this game, and we saw Sisetso Makubela, just number 17 for South Africa, subbed off with a hamstring injury in the first half. I think it was in the 20th or 22nd minute, replaced by Hilda Magaya. But as we speak, the South African goalkeeper has gone down once again, and the game is on pause. The game is on ice as the referee will go attend to her, calling on medical attention for the South African the South African goalkeeper Andile Nlamini. It's going to be the second time that will happen in this game for her. All right, that was just simply her taking her eyes off the ball, not really covering the ball in safety, but thank goodness for Fikile Magama, who was there to boot that ball out of danger. All right, early days in the second 45 minutes, and she's back on her feet, and action will continue. For the second time in this one, we've seen the reserve goalkeeper for South Africa talking about Swartz. Yes, she was there the last time when he won in 2022. Kaylin Swartz, there she's been warming up because of the constant going down of the number one goalkeeper, Andile Nlamini. Okay, let's get back to the action of the game. Don't forget, you have until 20 minutes of the second half for you to drop your prediction in the comment section of our live Facebook and YouTube feeds. Okay, include your full name and your location, and of course the correct score line. Okay, what you think will be the score line at the end of this game. In the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes, we're going to close that window, and you can predict no more. So hurry up to do just that. Throw into South Africa. Gabriela Salgado has taken that one for South Africa. Nigerian defense will do justice to that one. Not entirely so, but they are not in danger, although the ball is in the half. South Africa taking their time, right? And this is Captain Jane. Has the ball back, and the shots, a very tame one. And I just think that Chiamaka Nnadozie Jude has been on sabbatical.
Yes, of course she has. She has been on sabbatical. Kudos to the defense at what they're doing. You can see that there's not much threat coming from South Africans. They just keep the ball, like we said. They've been keeping possession, but they've not been purposeful. The difference between both sides here is that the Super Falcons have been very direct with the ball, and good thing too that they've started the way they left off in the first half. They've been pressing and also not allowing South Africans to get on the ball. This is what we saw in the early minutes of the first half, and they've maintained shape. I love what I've seen in this second half. Madugu has not told these girls to retreat. Rather, they've come out and they've not taken their legs off the gas, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't if they want to get anything out of this game.
All right, South Africa with the ball. Ashley Plum trying to stop jersey number 2, Ramalepe, and she's done that. Another South African came through, and successfully the Super Falcons chased them out. But the South Africans are back like bees around honey, and Jennifer Chegini with captain Rashida Jibade coming in the midfield to support the team. Handball reprieve for the Nigerians. Of course, it was that same handball that led to the penalty awarded to the Super Falcons almost towards the end of the first half, and Captain Rashida Ajibade duly converted that on past goalkeeper Andile Lamini, and so that free kick has been taken by Demenyi Tosin to Ashley Plumtree. She has the ball back and plays that on out. Yes, chested down by Chiwendu Uozo, who was coming from an offside position, and so the linesman has called the attention of the central referee, who has given the South Africans possession of the ball via offside. Of course, the culprit being Chiwendu Uozo. Gabriela Salgado for the South Africans loops one in. Well done there by Tosin Demenyi, but South Africa has the ball back and they've lost it. Halimatu Anyide plays the ball towards Chiwendu Uozo. She's a left-footed attacker. She's been brought down, and the referee has just blown for a free kick to Nigeria. It's been a clean game so far, Jude. No yellow card in this one.
Yes, it's been a good game, KUFRE. What we've only seen in this game, we've not seen dirty plays. We've only seen competitiveness and intensity. And when that is in a game, these fouls, sometimes because they are emotion. So when you touch them, they get a foul. So it's good. And I just want to commend the good work from Chiwendu Uozo. I've seen defensive contribution, how she tracked back, to defend for the team, and it's good. That's what we want to see. We want to see them playing as a whole, also defending together and attacking together. That's what I've seen, and I'm so impressed.
Possession in the hands of the Super Falcons. Throw-in, not well taken by Ashley Plumtree. South Africa wins the ball back. All right, a long one sent there. Michelle Alozie helping out Halimatu Anyide. Rashida Ajibade, Folashade Jamilusi. Another hop ball sent out by the South Africans. Osunacho Hale almost misplaced that one, and Nigeria will quickly gather that one through Chiamaka Nnadozie. Super Falcons taking it easy. I just think that they somehow needs to get a second goal against the South Africans. One goal is not enough to keep the South Africans at bay. All right, and so they must do the needful, do right by themselves, and score a second goal. Jennifer Chegini Uozo, she's almost everywhere. Halimatu Anyide tries to find Michelle Alozie, well controlled by the Houston Dash defender, bumping forward once again, sent in one there towards Hester Koko. Will she get there? No, it was Andile Lamini who got there first. That was a good move, Jude, by the Falcons.
Yeah, it's still about the directness of the team. You can see that they're very direct. That is one thing I like about them. It's not about how they move the ball around. Yes, they're doing their best, but they're very direct. And if you look at how this game has gone, we can safely say that the team who has been more purposeful, who has shown the most intent, is the Super Falcons, right? When they have the ball, the next time you see them is in the half of the Banyana Banyana, and it tells you a lot about what they can do.
Yeah, more intentional, more purposeful, and that's why they have 5 shots on target compared to 1 of the South Africans. And that was a very unsportsmanlike jab from Gabriela Salgado on the tummy of Esther Echegini. The referee saw nothing about that, still allowed the South Africans to go through with their throw-in. Here is South Africa, sent one in. Center circle, that's where we have the ball. Here they come, but Nigeria wins possession back. That was not a tidy play by the South Africans. Alimatu Anyude sending one with no purpose through. What was Andile Lamini doing there for the South Africans? Almost lost that one to the onrushing Nigerian players. South Africa scriptly getting the ball up front, attacking Nigeria, and that was well done. And that will be penalty to South Africa. What was Michel Alozie thinking? What was not Michel Alozie, Osinachi Ohale? Of course, that South African went past her like breeze. And of course, she was going to connect with that pass from her teammates. And Osinachi Ohale just pulled her shirt back inside the 18-yard box. Maybe a hand. Maybe that started outside the 18-yard box or inside, or started outside into inside of the 18-yard box. The AR will be called into action as far as that one is concerned. But the referee has given a penalty to the South Africans, just like she did in the first half to the Nigerians. And so we see the result of the VAR because Nigerians went complaining to the referee, and she said she will hear from the VAR. What's the outcome, the verdict? I think it will stay. It will stand, yes, because the referee is instructing goalkeeper Chiamaka Anadozie to do what is right, and of course ensure that one of her feet is on the line as she goes to potentially save that one. That was very, very uncalled for from Osinachi Ohale, from being one of the heroes of the Super Falcons in the quarterfinal game against Zambia to being the villain in this situation. All right, but let's see if Chiamaka Anadozie, the only player who has the responsibility now, single-handedly so, to save the Super Falcons from this situation. The South Africans had the opportunity of equalizing from the spot from 12 yards, just like the Super Falcons had the opportunity of drawing the first blood from the spot in the final seconds of regulation time in the first half. And just like it was Rashidat Ajibade who was called to action to lead the team by example from the spot, we also know jersey number 15 for South Africa, captain of the side, Jane Rufiole, has been called up to action. She will be the one to do just that. Why is she waiting? We don't know whether the VAR is still being consulted. But again, we're all waiting for the referee to give a final order. All right, we're still waiting. I think the VAR is still being called into action. He's still looking at the situation, and then we'll wait and see. Chiamaka Anadozie, of course, one of the things that brought her to limelight, especially playing for FC Paris in France, is the fact that she's a good goalkeeper when it comes to penalties, and maybe she will be able to do that for the Super Falcons of Nigeria in this one. We're still waiting for the verdict of the video assistant referee to confirm. Yes, it's been confirmed, and it's a penalty kick to South Africa. That has been confirmed, and South Africa will have the opportunity. I'm not sure if Jane Rufiolo, talking about the captain of the side, who will take this one. I don't think so. I think they've changed, but let's see and confirm who has been given the responsibility to equalize. It's jersey number 10. We're talking about Linda Matadlo, one of the experienced players for South Africa, up against Chiamaka Anadozie. She steps up and she scores. Chiamaka Anadozie well beaten on that occasion, and the South Africans have equalized in this semi-final game between them and the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Well done there by the South African. The VAR came through for them and said, yes, it was a penalty against the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And the South Africans have just converted that one. 2 goals in this one, 2 of them from the sports, converted by the 2 teams converted by the captains of the two teams. And, of course, parity is restored.
Yeah, parity is restored. But let's talk about the lead up to that particular penalty call. It was unnecessary. It wasn't called for. We can see what happened there. Defensively, I think they slept there on the South Africans. Alozie, I've talked about her before. She was just backtracking, and they played the ball behind the defender there, and what she did wasn't expected. The game now is 1-1, and it's more like 50-50 now, and is the game for anybody. Anybody can win as it stands right now. It's now open, and is back to play and win.
All right. It's a team sports, if you ask me. And if one player has been beaten, it's the responsibility of the other player who is available next to the action to try and stop that flow from the opposing side. And I think that was what Osinachi Ohale should have done. That was needless from an experienced defender. She easily would have been the captain of the Super Falcons right now. But on that occasion, she has not covered herself in glory and committed that blunder. The ball went past her easily, and instead of just allowing play, maybe the South Africans would have lost that one, but she just needlessly obstructed that South African player, and VAR said it was done inside the 18-yard box, and so penalty that was given by the central referee upheld by the VAR. South Africans had opportunity to realize and rightly took up that opportunity, scored, and it's 1-1 between Nigeria and South Africa. All right, free kick throw into the South Africans. Now they are on the ascendancy. Jennifer Ichegini had a blow on her body earlier, but she's been attended to. She's on the touchline waiting to get back on the pitch and play for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. All right, we're back to square one, talking about the two teams, and South Africans now are winning possession of the ball, winning the second balls against the Nigerians who must watch it. Maybe with about 30 minutes to go, Justin Madugu should start considering substitution right now. Maybe bringing some players with plenty of energy to see how they can get back into contention in this encounter. Free kick to Nigeria. Rashida Ajibade winning that one. Jude, your thoughts? 60 minutes on the clock. And of course, this is to officially say that the predict and win has ended on our Facebook and live feed. We're checking the time, and we will compile the entries and bring you the results tomorrow on Champion Sports from 5 to 6. All right, midweek edition of the show on 90.7 FM. Your thoughts quickly on the last 5 minutes of this one. Do you think that it's high time that Justin Madugu made substitutions in this game? Of course.
I think it's high time. He does that. Looking at the way the game is going now, the Super Falcons, they've conceded. Their defense that has been breached. Of course, they're against the quality side, but it's not just the defense. And we're looking at what has happened to the team. We're not seeing that spark. We're not seeing that spark. We're not seeing that fire. The game looks more like South Africans and looks more open. You can see from the midfield and how South Africans, are actually controlling this particular game. And it tells you that something needs to be done. The coach needs to think and needs to read this game and make a decision to bring in that player that we change the way the game is going.
All right, I think it's end of the road in this game for Jennifer Echegini. She will be replaced as she's come back. Yes, Christy Uchebe, Justin 10 has come on for Jennifer Echegini in the midfield. All right, that's a fresh blood injected in the midfield of the Super Falcons. We'll see the effect of that, the impact of that on the game for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. But beyond Christy Uchebe, we are also hoping that the technical crew of the Super Falcons can do one or two more subs to change the trajectory, the current trajectory, or flow of the game as it is being controlled by the South Africans right now. It's 1-1 between Nigeria and South Africa. 65 minutes on clock. Game back in action. Salgado sent in a long ball, finds her teammates. They have possession of the ball. This is Hilda Magaya. Rashida Ajibade briefly truncated that move, but South Africa has the ball back. They have a way of this short, cripsy combinations, passes, opportunity there. You mentioned earlier, Jude, that the defense of the Super Falcons has been breached. Maybe not from open play. From open play, it has not been breached, but from the sports in regulation time, yes, it has. And we will see how they respond to that.
You know, even in open play, what Africans have done, we've not seen anything do that against Super Falcons. They've been able to slice open the Super Falcons fence, which of course we've not seen in this tournament so far. Like I said, these things happen when you play a quality side. You know, they do things that you've not experienced before. So that's what we are seeing, you know, in this game. South Africans, the game is open now. It's 1-1. It's anybody's game at the moment. The Super Falcons poor passes, which of course we complained about in the first half. And when you look at the defense is not really that solid, in my opinion, in this particular game, like what we saw against the Bababanda in the Zambia tie. So I think there's a lot of work to do for Justin Madigu, especially decision making, because it needs to change a lot of things in this game. That energy, that verve looks to be down at the moment, and it needs to be revived.
All right, throw into the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Ijamilusi Folashade Ijamilusi has walked her socks off. Rashida Ajibade, Esther Okoronko is being neither here nor there. Don't know if she will last the next 10 minutes on the pitch. I think that Rishola Babajide should be prepped to come on board this action. Mitchell Alozie throwing, taking, and this is Esther Okoronko chasing the ball down, and we had a couple of South Africans swamped dispossessed but Nigeria has the ball back. But that was not a good one from Mitchell Alozie, and of course South Africa's goalkeeper and Dylan Lamy quickly launching an attack for the South Africans on their right side, throwing to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. 68 minutes on the clock. In case you tuned in, welcome to our live studio coverage of this game between Nigeria and South Africa at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations first semi-final. We're right here on Champion 90.7 FM. All right, and like I did announce earlier, the predicted win has ended on our social media platforms, YouTube and Facebook. Back to the action. Salgado has done well since she started this game for South Africa. Started from the beginning. She's held her own on the left side of South Africa's defense. But the Nigerians have not been able to hold their own. That player was dispossessed. Talking about a Super Falcons player, Limatu and Yide. But Nigeria have possession of the ball back. But more often than not, they do nothing purposeful with the ball. Seems now that appears like fatigue has set in. But again, you begin to ask yourself, fatigue from where? Tiredness from where? It was just last week Friday they played against Zambia, and they didn't travel out to Casablanca, unlike the South Africans who came to Casablanca on, I think it was on Sunday, and they had a training session on Monday, and that's just it. And they got ready for this one. Nigeria must ensure that they pick themselves up, begin to play the way that they started this game in the first 50 minutes and get themselves back. Of course, Nigerians who are watching this game, Jude, will now be ruining those missed chances in the first 50 minutes of this encounter. If the Super Falcons had converted 2 of their 4 shots on target, maybe the story would not be this tensed.
Of course, KUFRE. That's why we keep telling you that we keep saying that goals win you games. Right, goals win you games. When you don't take your chances, what happens is that you come back to view those missed chances, and we just hope that's not what we're going to witness tonight. What we've seen here, a lot of these players look like they're really tired. Ainde and even Iazor, they look lost in the heat of the game. We can't really get to find them. South Africans, they've taken the game. I think the one goal that they scored have revived something in them, and of course the game is more like the South Africans now. They are the one dictating play, and a lot of energy has been lost from the Nigerian side of it. But Madugu just has to do something. He has to bring in players now. I think at this point the likes of Babajide should be coming in, and then also I think we can start seeing Asisa Oshola. We can start seeing, of course, right now we might need experience as well in this kind of a game. But all said and done, it's still very much open. It's still anybody's game, and let's see what happens. KUFRE.
Yeah, aside from those names you mentioned, we still have Tony Payne. We have Ifeoma Onumnu. I don't think Ifeoma Onumnu has played a minute in this competition. I'm not sure, but we've not seen her too much or at all in this competition. She's a striker, she's an attacker. Tony Payne is also an experienced player in the Super Falcons setup. Odega as well, Francis Odega, although she's not listed on the bench in this encounter. But Ifeoma Onumnu and Tony Payne, Asisa Oshola, these are players that can come add some, some ginger, like we say in local parlance, to help the Super Falcons get back on the way they started. Okay, not about shouting and screaming on the touchline for the coach Justin Madugu, but tinkering about what next for the Super Falcons in collaboration with members of his technical crew. The Super Falcons have possession of the ball. 72 minutes on the clock, less than 20 minutes of action left in regulation time. Are we going to see a winner before the end of 90 minutes? It's 1-1. Both goals scored from the spots. Rasheedat Ajibade and Jane Refuolo scoring for the two teams, and the referee has just signaled for throwing to the Super Falcons of Nigeria on this side of on the left side of the Super Falcons attack. Right, and just waiting for that one. It's been taken. Ashley Plumter tries to send one in. She's been brought down. Referee says no, that's not an infringement. It's a goal kick to South Africa. Seems, Jude, everything is just going against the Super Falcons of Nigeria.
Yeah, this is where Madugu should come in. This is where Madugu should come in. He just has to make that change, or that changes. This is what he needs to do. If not, the Super Falcons might just be throwing this one away, because the momentum has been swung to the direction of the South Africans. They are now in control of the game. They are now in charge of the game. They are dominating the game, and what we used to see the Super Falcons do before, South Africans are not doing it, and it's not looking really good for the Super Falcons. So I think Madugu has to step in now. This is where you have to tweak the game tactically. You have to bring in players. Because what we need now is a tactical change, a change that is going to change the trajectory of how the Super Falcons have been set up to play. We need that tweak at this moment, and this kind of tweaks we can only get to see them in when players come in. We need players. That's what we need. We need players to come in and change this game.
All right, it's a long one there from the South Africans, and well done by the defense of Nigeria, trying to break here. And yes, Uchebe, will she find Rasheedat Ajibade? Yes, she does. They're trying to break. The South Africans trying to regroup and defend this line. Michel Alozie galloping like a very strong person right there, but she was unable to get to that ball on time from Rasheedat Ajibade, and she's taking her time to quickly recover and get back to her position. It was anxious moment for the Super Falcons some minutes ago. The South Africans switching play from the left side of the attack to the danger zone of the Nigerians. Hilda Magaya, who came in for the Setso Makubela, of course, had contact with the ball, went past the legs of goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadozie, but because she had a bit of touch with her body on that play by the South African, she was able to slow down the pace of that ball. Enough time for the Super Falcons to Chiamaka Nado. Sorry, enough time for Osinachi Ohale to quickly get to that ball before the ball crossed the line and cleared the lines. We've seen the first yellow card of this encounter going to Halimatu Anyide for obstructing a South African there, jersey number 12, talking about Jermaine Soposenwe. And so Halimatu Anyide has gone to the books of the central referee. Maybe it's enough time. We're just looking at that last opportunity by the South Africans. That one would have beaten the Nigerian defense easily, but for the timely intervention of Osinachi Ohale, the lines were cleared. Like I was saying, perhaps enough time or the right time for coach Justin Madugu to make a substitution. Halimatu Anyide, it's anxious moments, it's a squeaky bum time, maybe time for Deborah Abiodun to be called into action.
Yeah, KUFRE, you can see that a lot of things are not working for Super Falcons right now. They're showing signs of frustration. We just saw that from our end as well. Loose possessions. They're just losing balls. We've talked about the passes, which of course has not been connecting so far in this game. We're seeing a different game entirely in the second half. That's what it means. That's what it means when you fail to take your chances. Because as it is now, they're tied, and the South Africans scoring goal restored hope and belief that they can still win this tie. If the game was taken away from them, I think it would have been different right now. But this is football, and that's why you must take your chances. The South Africans, they have grown into confidence in this particular game. There's this belief in the way they play. They look more intentional. They look more purposeful, more determined. You see how they're keeping the ball, how they're playing the ball around and trying to the Super Falcons. It's I don't know what Madugu is doing at the moment. He ought to have been making some changes right now. When you look at the likes of even what Alozie looks really tired, in my opinion. She looks tired, and I wouldn't lie to you, she has been the weak link so far. Ashley Plum, she has done fantastically well in this position to hold it down and not to be a shink in the hammer of the Super Falcon side. As Alozie's position has been the weak link so far in this particular tie, and that is what we're seeing. Lunging forward, she looks really tired. I think Madugu should just make the changes.
All right, so it's 75 minutes on the clock, 78 minutes right now on the clock, 12 minutes left in regulation time to play for the two teams, and the ball is in possession of the Nigerians. All right, it's perhaps going to be a very long 12 minutes from now. The coach, we're not seeing any movements in the Nigerian side of the technical areas. South Africa controlling the ball. They have possession of the ball now. This is quite dangerous. That one has been taken, parried by the goalkeeper. No, went over the bar without a touch from Chiamaka Nnadozie for goal kick to Nigeria. That was beautifully done by Jermaine Soposenwe, one of the experienced players. She's going to call it quits for the South Africans after this tournament, but that one didn't go anywhere near shot on target, and so Nigeria will restart the game from the back. Of course, also looking like Ashley Plumter has tired off as far as this game is concerned. We've seen two subs by the South Africans and one by the Nigerians. The first one was a default substitution. The first one for Nigeria as well, default substitution. But intentionally, the South Africans brought in Sasene to replace Rama Lepe from the right side of the attack, from the right side of the defense into attack. And we'll just wait and see what happens. The South African is down. Talking about Hilda Magaya. She's been a great addition in the attack for the South Africans since she came on board. The 26th minute to replace the injured Makubela. All right, the game is on pause as we speak. All right, South Africans continue to take advantage. Now we're seeing traffic in the technical area of the Super Falcons. I think I just cited Abiodun now. All right, Deborah Abiodun definitely will come up. It should be a straight replacement for Halimatu Anyide, because Halimatu Anyide, she won't put all her effort into going for 50-50 balls, or even balls she has more possession of or more advantage of winning, because she wouldn't want to get a second booking that will translate into a red card. And so quickly, perhaps the next opportunity, we'll see Justin Madugu make that change. Okay, Nigerian players should be more aware of their immediate environments when they are about receiving passes, because the South Africans are equally watching, can just quickly come from behind or from anywhere to steal that one. Referee giving the ball once again, the infringement against the Super Falcons of Nigeria. I think that was a 50-50 standoff from two players, one from each side. Deborah Abiodun will come up now, coming down to this action to replace perhaps Halimatu Anyide. Yes, rightly so. Halimatu Anyide will be subbed off and replaced by Deborah Abiodun. That was rightly done, isn't it, Jude?
Yes, it was rightly done, because we need more force. We need an enforcer in that midfield area, and
more energy.
Yeah, exactly. That's of course more energy, someone to enforce, and that's what Abiodun is coming to do with Anyide being carded. Of course, that she must have lost something. There, to push in that midfield, and I really want to see ESO out of this game. Honestly, I think at this time we need Babajide Winsola in this particular game, because we're losing rather, or should I say we've lost that energy, that attacking verve that we need in this game. Because as it looks right now, if we continue to play like this, I don't see us chances to win at all. It's not there. We're not playing like a team that wants to win at the moment. So we need players who can create, and defensively we've not been really doing great. I think the game dropped. The games of Dimei and Ohale coming into the second half, they didn't look like the same players in the first half, and that has been a problem for us. You can see the penalty that that we conceded. It was really unnecessary. It was poor defending. It was bad decision, and that of course has cost us and has put us in this particular situation that we're in.
All right, we'd like to say thank you to our online watchers, online listeners, especially on YouTube. At point we had about 1,200 viewers from there, and you guys are pretty much right there. We want to say thank you to our online community. I mean, plenty of predictions have come through. A lot of them not happy right now, as Nigeria continue to see how they can get back in the lead in this game against South Africa. Someone is asking, what is the score line? It's 1-1, still 1-1, 8 or 7 minutes of regulation time left in this encounter. All right, so we've seen a lot of predictions come through. One prediction said that Nigeria will beat South Africa by 2-0, but hey, currently it's not what's happening. All right, it's just 1-0 apiece. Okay, that's the situation right now. The Super Falcons have possession of the ball. Like I said, 7 minutes to go. 7 minutes to go. Some of our online watchers, listeners, wanted us to show this game live. I just say at the beginning, was that a penalty? No, I think there's a serious injury right there, and a lot of players, I don't know, players from the two countries, from the two sides, are crying and have covered their heads and their faces in the turf. It's perhaps a very serious injury, very serious collision inside the danger zone, 18-yard box of the South Africans, and stretchers have been called, medical assistants have been called as well. We can see a crowd around those two players, one from the Super Falcons, the other from the South Africans. We can see some players crying, covering their faces in tears, covering their faces with their hands. Captain, goalkeeper for the Super Falcons, Chiamaka Nadozie as well, Hilda Magai not being able to watch that one. This definitely has been an instant psychological trauma for these girls. I think it's a South African who has been seriously injured, but we're not sure. But we can confirm that in a bit. Game is currently on pause. Like I said, I think it's a South African player who has seriously gotten injured, who has seriously been injured. There was a collision after a free kick was taken inside the 18-yard box of the South Africans. And so, not a good sight. Not a good sight at all. We will confirm who the player is, but it's a South African player because they are the worst hits in terms of their immediate reaction to that injury to that particular player. Okay, can't see any green shirts on the top, but yellow shirts. And we can see Desiree Ellis, the coach of South Africa, comforting the players one after the other, and the technical staff as well of South Africa. Okay, now we can officially confirm that it's a South African that has, and I think it's the number 9 jersey, Gabriela Salgado, who's been worse hit with that collision. She's not having it easy at all. We have medical attendants surrounding her, including one South African player, trying to comfort and console her. But again, we get to know what exactly the nature of the injury is, but it is not good when you take into consideration the reactions from Nigerian players and South African players after it happened. She's been lifted into the stretchers, but she's still on top. I think she's been attended to. First response to that injury is being granted to her. It's been done to the player, jersey number 9 for South Africa, Gabriela Salgado. All right. We know that the time will continue to run. We're 5 minutes out of the regulation time, but based off on this injury timeout, the central referee definitely will add more minutes than we saw in the first 45 minutes of the encounter once we're done with the 90 minutes. Still 1-1 between the Super Falcons of Nigeria and the Banyana Banyana of South Africa. And so, yes, the player is being stretchered off, and definitely she's going to be met with her teammates and, of course, our opposing numbers who are greeting her. She's been given a standing ovation by the spectators at the Lali Zaubi Stadium. That wasn't a good one. I don't know if it's a broken leg, all right, but subsequently we get to know before the end of this broadcast to see if it's a broken leg or it's a torn flesh. But the game will restart. The game will restart, and we are about 2 minutes of regulation time left in this first semi-final of the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations between Nigeria and South Africa. In case of watching us on Facebook and on YouTube, like I did announce earlier, we do not have the right to show this game, and we cannot show you any second of this one because of right infringement. And so what you can make do of is the blow-by-blow accounts of this game via our live studio coverage. Okay. Gabriel Salgado has been replaced by another South African, and we are talking about Sibulele Holweni. Sibulele Holweni plays for Western Cape University women's team. She's 24. She's come on to replace number 9 jersey for South Africa, who has been stretched off because of that very terrible injury to her. Talking about Gabriela Salgado. All right, action continues. 11 players each on the pitch for each team, and this is South Africa still coming through. She'll beat every Nigerian player that she came through, and she's won a corner kick in the process. I think this is going to be the first corner kick for the South Africans. In this one, we've seen low corner kicks played, low number of corner kicks played in this one. This is the third one. I definitely right on that one. The first two went Nigeria. This is the third and the first for third of the game and the first for the South Africans. The Nigerian defense must really watch this one. Defending this one with few seconds to go before the end of regulation time. We're just waiting to see how many more minutes will be added to this one. All right, once we have that, we will tell you. Corner kick has been taken and it was straight on the roof of the goalpost of Nigeria. All right, Chiamaka Nnadozie will replace the ball on the line and restart the game. This is definitely a fight to finish for the two teams. Perhaps they will need 30 more minutes. Yes, 30 minutes in extra time to contend and vie for an opportunity to be part of the final this weekend against Morocco or Ghana. This one spilled. Goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie coming through our line to clear that one. Deborah Abiodun finds Michel Alozie, cuts in, beating one player, but stopped by another. South Africa have possession of the ball. They will go through from the left. Hilda Magaya, Jane. Nigeria wins possession back through Rasheedat Ajibade. 6 minutes of added time, we've been told. Chiwendu Ozo, stopped by that South African, chasing the ball, wins the ball back. Plays with captain Rasheedat Ajibade, who sends one in towards two. Esther Okoronkwo was ready to blast that one towards the goalpost of South Africa, but it was well defended by the Rainbow Nation, and Nigeria wins the latest corner kick.
Yes, so far, KUFRE, the game has been a game of two halves. The South Africans, I think, have been the better team in this second half. The Super Falcons have not really been themselves, especially the defense for me has not really been up to standard, the standard of we've seen them in this competition. They've really had a poor game. I keep saying Alozie and even Ohale, she's not had the best of the game in the second half, and we don't really we're expecting a lot from them. We want to see what they can do, especially our attackers, Ezo, Okonkwo. They seem to have lost that energy, and a change is needed in this game. Losing possession unnecessarily, they can't keep the ball, they can't hold possession, they can't control the game. Poor passes, and these things we've seen in the second half, and they've not really helped us at all.
A lot of watchers online, especially on YouTube, wanting us to show the match for the opt-in time. We can't say this enough. We do not have the right to show you any second of this game because of copyright infringement, and so you have to make do with what you are getting on our YouTube page. Super Falcons coming again. Don't forget, 6 minutes added time was given by the central referee. We've done 3 minutes already. Captain Rasheedat Ajibade plays with Esther Okoronkwo, who turns the ball in, wasting a bit of time, but quickly releasing the ball towards Michel Alozie, sending one in. And what happens right there? It's a goal for the Super Falcons, and yes, it's a goal! And the Super Falcons have the second goal, and for the second time leading this semi-final game against South Africa. It was a long one from Michel Alozie from a weaker foot, connected pretty much by Folashade Ijamilusi, as the Super Falcons lead by 2-1, beating every South African and the goalkeeper Andile Dlamini in that one stretch and one in-swinger from Michel Alozie. And it's goal number 2 for the Super Falcons of Nigeria, and might just be all she wrote in this encounter. It came from nowhere. See the jubilation from Nigerians and fans and supporters of the Super Falcons inside the Labi Stadium. Let's see that once again. Perhaps the VAR will be called into this, but I think the girls were onside. It was just a bit of touch from that Nigerian, or maybe it's a Michel Alozie goal. We're not sure, but that will be confirmed in the beat. But what is sure is that the Super Falcons lead South Africa by 1-0. Jude, yes, no one touched this one. The South African goalkeeper touched it. No other Super Falcons player touched that one except for Michel Alozie, who launched that one in. Maybe from another angle, it was Folashade Ijamilusi, who was the last Nigerian player to touch that one. But that is inconsequential as we speak. You can see the different celebratory mood and different celebrations from the Nigerian players, from the goalkeeper to the defenders, to the attackers, to everyone in the stadium supporting and rooting for the Super Falcons. All excited, but no excitement at all from the face or from any part of the body of Coach Justin Madugu, because it is not yet over.
Of course, it is not yet over, but we can all see what this means for the girls. Of course, 2-1, they lead, and in added time, it means that they just have to keep composure. They have to, maintain shape and structure and see the game off and allow the clock wind down. We just have 1 minute left on the clock, even less than 1 minute left on the clock, and let's see what they can do and just kill this game off. That's what they need to do. The Super Falcons, they've been a fantastic team this tournament, and I'm not quite impressed with how they've actually played this game, to be honest with you, KUFRE. I was expecting more. I'm not quite impressed with with the way the game has been, but what can we do? What can we say? A win is a win, and that is what is important for us at this time.
And it's all about game management as we speak, and that's what the Nigerians are doing right now. They had the attack a few seconds ago, and the South African goalkeeper Andile Dlamini came through to save the South Africans on that occasion, and almost as she released the ball, a Nigerian player went down on the turf, and she will be given medical attention. The game has been put on ice, and so the 6 minutes added time has come and gone, and so we're just waiting for how many more minutes or seconds the central referee will allow once the game is restarted. But excitement all over on the pitch and as well around the stadium there in Casablanca. The Super Falcons scoring almost on the death of the extra time, of the 6 minutes extra time given by the central referee, and so they will hope to hold on to hang in there and manage this game very well to ensure that they beat these highly technical and highly motivated, skilled South Africans who perhaps will lose their crown, lose their throne at the end of this competition, because currently they are looking at being defeated by the Super Falcons of Nigeria. The game has restarted. The South Africans will try to quickly get into the half of the Super Falcons. They've done that easily. If you ask me, from that occasion, Abiodun, Deborah not able to do anything right there. They switch play to the right side of the attack. Ashley Plumter is right there, and she wins the ball. And it's a tango right there. Won once again by the South Africans. What's happening? The Nigerian defense, and that was a misplaced pass by that South African player. And it's all over from the Laobi Zaoli Stadium. It's all over. The Super Falcons, is it? Maybe not. It's a substitution effected by the technical bench of the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Chiwendu Iyozo has been replaced in this one. Just part of the game management, like I did mention earlier. Referee will allow more seconds to allow the game to continue. Of course, Nigerians just can't wait. Yes, finally, it's all over. The Super Falcons of Nigeria, 9-time African champions, have beaten the reigning champions of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, the Banyana Banyana of South Africa, the hard way. Yes, the hard way, and maybe unexpectedly so, because of the manner that happened. We saw a very terrible injury to Gabriela Salgado, and maybe that really played on the psychology of the Banyana. And when the game started, maybe still trying to get themselves back, motivate themselves to get back into the game at 1-1. And of course, that long intrigger came through from Michel Alozie, and that almost beat everybody. The goalkeeper for South Africa touched that one, but it turned to be the ball strode into the back of the net for the final goal. A second time, the Super Falcons led in that one. The Super Falcons of Nigeria have beaten South Africa, reigning champions by 2-1, and they will play the final of the competition this weekend against Morocco or Ghana. We have to go on this live broadcast of this game right here on Champion 90.7 FM. Quickly, your final thoughts on this one, 10 seconds.
All right, the Super Falcons, they've won. Congratulations to them. And for South Africa, what a way to lose, especially losing a player, Gabriel Sagado, in the manner that she did, in the manner that she left the field, is really sad. And of course, they're off to the final.
And we're going to talk more about this in the days to come. Tomorrow we'll come and talk more. We have to go. Thank you so much for being part of this special live broadcast of the game right here on Champion 90.7 FM. Have a fantastic evening.